Last week, I may have given the impression that I was strongly against the grammar translation method. I apologize for this. That was misguiding. While I may not be that method's greatest fan, I can still find some benefits with it. And likewise, with the direct method, one can easily also find its flaws, especially in teaching abstract vocabulary and concepts. Part of this journey that we are taking together is to find the method or methods that are best suited to us individually, so that we can create our own second language teaching philosophy. Welcome to Module 5, the audiolingual method and the silent way. This week we will learn about two more language teaching methods, the audiolingual method and the silent way. One method you are likely to be already familiar with, and the other you will probably find quite intriguing. The audiolingual method is also sometimes known as the Michigan method. This is because it was formulated primarily by Charles Fries, a professor at the University of Michigan. While this approach has similarities to the direct method, specifically in that it's primarily oral-based and that the instruction is only in the target language, in actual practice it is very different. Instead of conversational dialogue, this language teaching method is based on conditioning. Specifically in conditioning students to develop their ability to speak in a target language like a habit. As a result, you will have a method that utilizes phrase repetition and drills that will hopefully eventually become memory. Now pay special attention to the teaching techniques demonstrated in the experience section as well as elaborated on in the review section of the reading this week to get a good idea of how the audiolingual method works.
After all, in the past century, the middle of the past century, the audiolingual method was dominant. According to that method, it was the learner's role to passively respond to the teacher by imitating the teacher and responding to his or her drills. It wasn't long after that the cognitive revolution took place, and with it, a new interpretation of the learner's role. The learner wasn't just repeating, the learner was, in fact, hypothesizing about the language and testing the hypotheses out as he or she produced the language. The learner was a cognitive being. The silent way is a good example of giving that role importance.
In the late 1950s and during the 1960s, our boy, Noam Chomsky, and others such as John Bissell and Kay Chastain took rise and challenged the behaviorist language teaching practices of the time and brought forth more constructivist approaches. The idea being that student learning is better served when students discover for themselves rather than being directly taught. From this cognitive revolution came the cognitive code approach, from which a number of innovative methods were formed. Now I want you to notice that when you read Chapter 5 that innovative methods is put into single quotes, because the methods that we'll be exploring that came from this are, well, you might find them a bit strange. Created by Caleb Getago in 1963, the silent way is one of these innovative methods, and it is a really interesting take on language teaching. As the name suggests, the teacher doesn't say a word. Instead, the instructor uses hand gestures and visuals to have students figure out how to say things themselves. Take a look at this demonstration. As you can see, this is a complicated method, using sound color charts and very specific tools and props. It should be no surprise that it is not commonly used today. Still, there are some truly creative ideas at work here that should be remembered. This week, you have another quiz and discussion board assignment. The quiz is on the 2 textbook chapters, so make sure you read them carefully before attempting the quiz. However, the discussion board assignment this week is very simple. It has 2 simple questions. Since these 2 methods are rather specific in delivery, the questions are, what did you like and dislike about the audiolingual method, and what do you like and dislike about the silent way? After posting your answers to the above 2 questions, please read your peers' posts and choose one to respond to. Now make sure that when you answer each one of these questions to write at least a paragraph for each, as well as in your response. Next week, we will continue exploring language teaching with the intriguing Desuggestopedia and community language learning.